Ladies and gentlemen, we have a distinct pleasure to present our paper on critical success factors for adopting electronic document management systems in government units. This paper is written by me, by Tomasz Papaj. It will present our research findings with me, and Danuta, Descours. Now a little bit more about the agenda of our presentation. First off, we are going to talk about EDMS adoption and factors that influence such adoption. Secondly, we will move on to the issues of our research methodology. Then we will discuss the research findings concerning, firstly, a framework of critical success factors for EDMS adoption in government units, and secondly, critical success factors for EDMS adoption in Polish government units. In the end, we would like to talk about some conclusions, implications, and limitation of our studies, and we would like to present our future works. And ladies and gentlemen, research studies and empirical reports confirm that EDMS adoption is one of the most important determinants of e-government development and improvement of e-government services provided to government clients like business and citizens. Hence, it is very important to explore how EDMS can be adopted. EDMS includes various kinds of technology to support different activities made on documents and their flows. In our research, EDMS is understood as the electronic management of documents across documents and their life cycle. That is ranging from submitting a document by a client to a government unit electronically to a client receiving a response from a government unit also electronically. In general, EDMS requires two kinds of software, that is front and back office software. Front office software is available to government clients for submitting their documents, applications, and letters to government units and for receiving responses from government units. And back office software is available to employees of government units and used by them to manage these documents, these applications, these letters in government units, and to send the responses to government clients. The adoption of EDMS is not straightforward. It requires a multidimensional approach, rethinking and re-engineering government processes, changing organization culture, and setting new government law. It requires the coordination of many activities of government units and the close cooperation among government employees, managers, IT specialists, as well as government clients, mainly citizens and business. In order to adopt EDMS, it is needed to know some determinants, some barriers and factors influencing this adoption. Therefore, enumeration of success factors that are crucial for adopting EDMS is becoming an important issue. Critical success factors are those areas and operations which should be focused on primarily in order to achieve the most satisfying result of e-government adoption. Researchers and practitioners have identified various barriers, various determinants, constraints, and factors for successful adoption of EDMS, but mainly in business organizations, whereas there is a lack of research on EDMS adoption and factors influence this adoption in the context of government units. The aim of our research was to first propose the framework of critical success factors for the adoption of EDMS in government units, and the second, to identify critical success factors for local government in Poland. Now we would like to talk about our research methodology and our research findings, and this issue will be presented by Tomek.
Yes, okay. Research methods include a critical review of literature, questionnaire survey, and statistical analysis. The 6 steps were taken in the research process. The first step, it was literature review. The next slide, please. Review of the literature was conducted to identify critical success factors for electronic document management systems. It began with 4 known bibliographic databases: EBSCO, Science Direct, Web of Science, and Scopus. Even open access papers and empirical studies were examined. The search was conducted using a relevant set of keywords and phrases and their combinations. The next step, it was operationalizing of critical success factors. This step required a combination of theoretical knowledge and practical experience. Therefore, the factors indicated based on the literature were analyzed in the context of Polish government circumstances, and the prototype of critical success factors for EDMS adoption were indicated on the basis of action research. The action research means the very close, long-standing collaboration of the research team members with public government units in Silesia province. Silesia province is the one on the region Poland, which plan, implement, and use EDMS. After evaluation of the literature findings and interviews with field experts, the theoretical model of critical success factors of EDMS adoption was constructed. The next step, it was elaborating questionnaire. At the third step, the survey questionnaire was elaborated. A 5-point Likert scale was used. A Likert scale was used to evaluate the strength of the influence of particular factors on EDMS adoption. Ariel, we used the pilot study. The pilot study was conducted in which 28 experts participated. Additionally, at this step, some experts proposed minor changes in the prototype factors related to confusing or incomprehensible statements. It allowed us to elaborate on the final framework of critical success factors and the final version of the survey questionnaire. The next step, it was defining sample group. Then the sample group was defined. The subjects in the study were government units from the Silesia region in Poland in 2017. The region of Upper Silesia was chosen because of its rapid economic development. In addition, the intensive works on the information society development have been undertaken in the region for several years. The next is data collection. The data were collected by using computer-assisted web interviews in 2017. Random samples were taken to provide representative data. Finally, we obtained a set of usable, correct, and complete 110 from all 180 government units. The next is statistical analysis. At the last step, the data were analyzed statistically. Using the Statistica package and Microsoft Excel, the data were analyzed. The following statistics were calculated: minimum, maximum, mean, median, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation. The descriptive statistical analysis was employed to identify critical success factors. The information is included in the table 1. Referring to the research results, several conclusions can be made. A framework of 23 economic, organizational, technological, and legal critical success factors for the adoption of EDMS in government units were identified. The result of statistical analysis allows us to recommend 9 critical success factors for electronic document management systems adoption in Polish government units. In the opinion of the government units examined, technological, organizational, and legal factors are the most important ones. It's worth noting that there are no economic factors in the set of the 9 critical success factors. And please, the next slide. And once again, the next slide. On the next slide, the following factors can be listed by type of factors. Please, the next slide. Legal factors, for example, legislation imposing the obligation of EDMS adoption. The second group is technological factors, quality of back office software, integration of back office and enterprise resource planning software, technological readiness, integration of front and back office software. The next group is organizational factors, employees' awareness of EDMS adoption. And the fourth group is technological and organizational factors. And there are back office software functionality and scope of its adoption, information security, we have talked about it, and front office software functionality and scope of its adoption. And I would like to say about research contribution. At the end of the discussion, we would like to make a few reflections. This study contributes to the extent research on a framework of critical success factors for EDMS adoption. I would like to present implication for researchers. The study can be useful for researchers. The paper attempts to provide a new line of thinking for researchers in areas. Researchers may use this methodology and do similar analysis with different sample groups in other countries, and many comparisons between different countries can be made. And moreover, researchers may develop, verify, and improve this methodology and the proposed framework of CSFs. The implications for practitioners are connected with the research findings can be useful for practitioners. The proposed critical success factors framework is not unique to Poland. It should be defined clearly, useful for developing and emerging countries and the transition economies of Central and Eastern Europe. Government units could find answers to important issues related to transforming traditional document management to electronic document management and programming, building, and developing EDMS. And research limitation. Although the provided findings are comprehensive, there are some limitations of this study, obviously. The main limitation relates to the empirical verification of the proposed framework. The sample group includes government units from Silesian region, only Silesia region. The Silesian region is the one of the 16 regions in Poland. In the future, we would like to develop EDMS research bearing in mind various constraints by focusing on longitudinal research and expanding the numbers of government units examined from various countries. We hope to truly verify this framework. We would like to carry out exploring best practice to be used to successfully adopt EDMS, investigating the demand side of EDMS from the viewpoint of government units clients, for example, the citizen and business view, and identifying strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of EDMS in government units. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomek, and some question to us. Dariusz, yes?
Yes, I have one question, because I saw that there is well, cutting point for the recommended critical success factors, and how what it was determined. Was it just arbitrary, or maybe there were also the source? Because I have also the same problems how to choose the correct point. So it will be nice to hear what was the source of the cutting point. Thank you.
Because determinants can influence or not influence on some phenomena, and critical success factors have an impact on some phenomena. But there are the main areas and main areas to develop, to enhance for adopting EDMS and adopting different kinds of information systems. It is differences between determinants and between critical success factors, because the theory of critical success factors says that the factors, critical success factor, influence on any phenomena, for example.
Okay, thank you.
But determinants can influence.
Yes.
Do you agree or not?
Yeah, there are so many discussions. What is determined and what is the influenced. That's right. I see the problem. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Our research was the part of research about maturity of EDMS in government units, and identify critical success factors were the base for defining maturity model of EDMS. But now we have to. Now we are going to conduct new research about critical success factors and verify our maturity model of EDMS in government units. I hope we receive new results and verify the old ones.
In this, in region Silesia, the future next research will be, and in 16 regions in Poland. But we would like to conduct our research in marshal offices. Is the main office in each of region in Poland.